as we can see here right now, Alola decided to banning Qlaziks Naga here, while Qlaziks decided to banning off the Amphitheater here. So Naga here is a really good ban for Alola, or a very needed ban, because if you're looking over what Alola is running, you really want to be able to keep some pressure and momentum going, and you can't letting a Naga interrupting your fun, if we say that, and decided to reverting the speed, so you're always going last instead of going first most of the time here. The Amphitheater ban here, I mean, it's very understanding, like you're having a couple of temps here. What I can see here at the top of my brain is like, if they're free, even though with the Nagais would make it 4, but just making sure that it can't stay in there. And of course, you're having the Madrid as well that doesn't like any nature damage at all. But the plague in general is just really annoying. Classic decided to picking up here the Sunny Affair, while the Alola is picking up Mix and Valorant here. That's a really good start for Alola, but seeing the Madrid actually being picked up here makes it a little bit more interesting here. Macharo landing on the Mix, potentially with a weak Lily here, being able to take out Mix. That could be a really interesting turn here. We do see the Alola being banned on the classic side here. I think Alola is having no interest at all fighting against a Loatel. Just want to have some, more regular damage you see daily. We see the Madrid being banned, which means we're only going to have one Madrid there on the board. Tolkien being picked up here from the classic side here, while Cypad being picked up from the other side here. Cypad needs to be a little bit careful here due to knowing that the Cernith is here, might doing some Wackle here, doing some high damage, and that Cypad can't really take a hit. Next to the Cypad, we're having the Munch standing there being ready to using the wreck whenever it's needed, and we have the OB10 here as well, helping us and supporting as much as he can. With Burrow Bush and so. Yeah.
Did we see a drill on Alola, or did Alola not have a drill, or we didn't spot it yet?
I think from those matches we have seen of Alola, we haven't spotted a drill. And I think we've only seen only one match.
So Alola was claiming for a 15-minute semifinals here. Let's see how it goes. I mean, for his team it can be fast, but Qlaziks looks like he's chilling at the mid-range.
Okay, so first semifinal match in this best of 3. We're having Alola and Qlaziks here, and by looking on turn 1 here, it looks pretty even, I'm gonna say. It's just that Alola have to be a little bit careful in the mixture. If this mix is spreaded to being able to getting into the Puppet Master from one Lily here, that's going to be huge for Alola, making sure that he can keep pressure going on here. From what I can see on the classic side here, I don't see any Tem here that have AoE move, except from the Gazuma that were picked last here.
I mean, I'm still thinking, would a swap be better for Alola, or just going full aggressive on the Cernith is better? I think the swap...
Okay, so...
Go ahead.
I mean, if we say this, Valorant is safe here. If we want to change out Mix here, you can't take in Cypad because of 2 times. You can't pick in Monkey because same there, and Barnes is fragile.
Oh my god, the damage.
The damage from that solid steam.
Sharp
One
leaf
shot
meta, guys. Sharp leaf meta. A Rupid bird I see. But sharp leaf, as I said.
Yeah, sharp leaf. Sharply, if the new move, if you want to use something that is really interesting here. And I'm not gonna lie. That solid steam did damage.
Yep.
And if I remember correctly, that is a 115 base damage. So that did ton of damage towards that mix.
Now
That
the
mix got
question,
cheated.
question is, Water Cutting Lily can hit the Seismuch really hard, but that Valorant is actually aerobic, so it's +1 speed. If it does a hyperkinetic and it kills the Sernif with that, then that might be really good for Alola to make a comeback in this right now. Because right now he's on the back foot with Water Cutting Lily hitting almost 40% on all 3 of the Tems on the right side, or possible swaps as well. Like Sipad is taking a lot, Munch is taking a lot, Banshee will take at least 40 I think. But Sernif just backs out of that situation. Poor Obi-10.
Which is completely understanding. Like, you still see that you need Sernif later on.
That's true.
Only taking almost 17%, that is... It's not... It could have been better, but you know, it's half resistance, but that Crystal Deluge doing so much damage towards a Valorant.
Yeah, this Madrid is packing a punch right now. 100% to that makes 50% or more to the Valorant. Seismuch is ready for getting his punches down as well. +2 heat up. Is he gonna wreck this turn with the Sipad coming in? It depends on the speed, but I think it might go before the bush of the OB-10 unless OB is really fast.
Obi doesn't have boost ready because
Oh
I mean
yeah,
this is
he has Burrow, correct.
So even if Burrow is
To prior.
fast enough to be outspeed anything, but it's like nah, it can't outspeed a prior free move if now Seismuch designed to wreck here. I mean, wrecking here is not a bad idea.
I mean, everything takes a good chunk of damage from the wreck, so I don't see why not. I mean, I would have doubted the speed, but since it's Alola, I'm pretty sure of the speed here as well. It's more than 300 for sure.
And we do see that actually, as we've been talking about, the wreck is coming in here, landing on this Madrid. Madrid is dead, and the Obi is dead as well. We are not going to see any burrows, any bushes.
Just get out. A monkey says bye, so monkey says bye. You do not stay here.
Exactly. I still see that Qlaziks still having a chance of coming back to this board here. And we do see Sernif and Gazuma's coming back in here. Sernif can probably taking out the side pad, but the question is, if a Nacho side coming in here, I think that could potentially be enough to take out the Sernif, which makes it a little bit more comfortable for Saipa to be on the board. But this Kazuma might only have Tesla Prison on at this point, and that will not be enough to take out the side pad. So if now this Sernif fall down, Alola's having pretty much a walk in the park here.
Yeah, and the Nico Sai is ready as well on top of it. I think Dimmak and Nico Sai might actually kill Sernif before it even moves, right? Considering the Seismuch is fast.
But if we taking a look though, what like if the Sernif been able to pulling out, of course, so Watercut Lily might be faster than Saipad, but even if it's been able to do the damage on Saipad here, I do not believe it's gonna be one-shotting the Saipad.
Definitely.
Well, that's going to be really depending on the spreads, of course, when it goes to everything. So if you're thinking this Saipad is like most of the time, believing this is going to be a fast Saipad with high damage, and I'm believing also Nacho Sai is also a prior free move, so it's depending which of these two having the more speed. If it's if Qlaziks having more speed, it might take out Saipad. If Saipad's faster than Sernif, we will see Sernif fall down here.
I mean, let's
and I
joking.
do not see, like I said before, a comeback here. We do see the Sernif being able to be faster than the Saipad. The Saipad is surviving with 8 HP And the Tink landing on it with the Toxic Affinity trait here. But the Tesla Prisons making sure the Scypad is gone. Can't do anything more here on this board.
Well, the question is, the wreck is ready, the button is ready. There might be no synergy for it, but it is still ready and it's gonna hit pretty hard. How are you gonna handle it?
How are you going to handle that? Well, you try to out-damage a monkey, but it's not possible to do it because the monkey is having +2 attack. And even though that I'm believing Kazuma and Tolkien for sure can resist this pretty well, but I think Kazuma's gonna having a little bit rougher time. It all goes down to, do you have enough damage to take out the Munch? But you're having as well a Valorant that can do also some good damage. And the Fairy Soul here, bringing up the burn status condition. Hoping it's gonna be enough to making sure that either of these teams is surviving out of this wreck that's coming in. And nowhere exotic sense punches coming in with the wreck landing, and it is definitely enough to making sure that both Kazuma and Tolkien staying alive here. Of course, the Tolkien, as I said before, it would definitely staying alive here. But the Kazuma surviving thanks to that early Fairy Soul's burn status condition, making sure Kazuma can pull out one more move. But I think at this point it doesn't really matter. Even though the Munch has been overexerted, might die this turn as well. I mean, you could just swap in Bunch at that turn, just making sure that you can have Tornado ready.
Yeah. I really think Kazuma probably dies from a Toxic Plume. I mean, just a percentage itself will kill it. I think Plume might be the best attack that Valorant can do right now, to be honest, while doing a Banshee swap. And there it is.
Taking
no
out
swap.
the Kazuma. Like I said, the Plume there, definitely enough to take it out, but the Wind Burst is enough to take out the Valorant, making sure that Tolkien still have a slightest chance to come back into this match. But I think it doesn't matter. I believe 2 energy manipulation will be enough to take out this Tolkien. Down to 6%. Will Tolkien be faster than? No, we see a Denmark landing on the Tolkien, and Alola is taking game 1 over Classic. Okay, so if we're looking here right now, the first bans have been like the previous game. Naga been banned on Classic, and the Aperture been banned on Alola. We have a different start, however. We see the double Madrid here, and we do see a double Mental here, Mix versus Loatul. So we can definitely having a more interesting start here. Alola knows now, this Madrid hits hard, so it can't stay in whenever that Madrid is going to attack again.
Let's see. I mean, both of them have picked up Madrid this time around as their starting pick itself. Let's see how it goes from there. I mean, if it's about faster, then I think Alola is faster in terms of the temps, to be honest. Because the run-in advantage is real. They get 50 extra speed TVs to be trained.
Oh yes, that is actually true and confirmed.
And Mix does not live the soil stream. Last match we just saw it one-shot the Mix.
Yeah, it definitely did. And we see the Valorant has been banned on the Alola side here, while Tolkien is banned on the Classic side. And once more, Cernif have been brought up to this game again. Alola still have Banshee over there waiting to be picked up here that can still do solid damage towards Cernif. But Zarnith can still turn the favor back and do solid damage back. When we see it, I think this is probably Saga's favorite combo here with this iPad and the Monk here.
Monkey. I'm having a
Oh,
feeling
you-
I'm gonna pair Monkey with the Volgon, to be honest, in the ladder. Volgon is gonna be a lot of fun for ladder, to be honest. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, hopefully you're having fun with that. I haven't been able to take a look on that Volgan yet, but in time I will be able to. But we do see that Obitel has been picked up here on the classic side here. I think Obitel here is hopefully to having a key factor here and helping out the team.
Let's see. I'm just thinking, how can it turn out to be? I mean, do you see a different turn one this turn around? Because if you think of it, if he does a Faraday Cage and Assault Steam on mixed spot, everything is taking 2x damage at least once. Like, I can't see a single safe swap for Alola in this situation right now. On turn 1 at least, on that mixed spot. If there's a Faraday Cage and a Assault Steam going on that spot.
You are indeed correct. So Alola is forced to go full blaze here. Try to do as much damage as possible on either Madrid or Loatl. But at this position, I think Loatl would be the better choice here. But if Classic deciding to swapping out here, I mean, Obi doesn't like it. Sabum possibly can tank it kind of well, but the Sarni, I mean, it would be kind of the same. It's not. There's no X2 on Classic sides, but either of the teams want to taking a double hit up. We do see the C-Spike landing directly on the Zybon here. And the Solid Steam landing on the Madrid. Taking out, making sure there's no Crystal Delusion that can be happen on this turn.
That was
Madrid.
Amazing. Whoa. Because that Salt Steam can also one-shot the mix as well. So, oh, that is really... I think that was a really deciding turn, you can almost say that. But let's see how this goes.
Okay, so from this point right now, how
This
does
gonna
Alola
be
come
rough.
back from here?
It's gonna be rough. Rough for sure. So Salt Steam is one-shotting the mix. We know that already for a fact. We saw it last match.
Yeah, and like you also point out earlier, there's no safe swapping for either side. I mean, if we're only talking about the Soul Steam, I mean, most of the time can take it. Sunsmart would be the best choice since it's already part Earth and they can take it pretty well. But if it's going to be happening a top attack here from Sabio, there's really no Tem on the and any Tem on the Lola side is going to be taking it.
Yeah, either that or Electro Punch. But I don't think Electro Punch would be the case. It would be the other one, the digital move. Nothing really counters that. And as for Mix is dead if there is a Salt Steam going in there.
And we do see actually another Cheeseback landing on the Cybon. Cybon have been taking out. Do we see a sacrifice here for the mix? The mix, once more, one shot.
Rest in peace, Iron Coating doing the work.
And that air specialist hand the fan Bunch is doing also ton of work as well.
That is true.
We do know we're having Tornado ready. The question is, what is Classics going to bring out, and what is Alola's going to bring out here? So we see the Lotus back here on the board, and we see Cypad actually enters the field.
I mean, even nipping the Madrid would have been a really, really good choice, but I guess Alola and Ronin players, they believe in being aggressive, being speedy, and completely doing damage, you know. Crystal Deluge, making it go to sleep for 3 turns, which is kind of huge.
The Hypox are landing directly on the Loatel here. Let's see how much it's doing. Putting it down to 42.6%. That is solid damage.
Loatel just wiping a left and right. The one-shotting train. Loatel Voodoo strats. But not Voodoo this time. And Qlaziks taking it away. Alola giving up on that.
So we see that Alola is still banning exactly the same Tems, like in every single game so far. And Qlaziks have always been banning the same Tems on first ban, but have been swapped differently between second and this game now. So I'm having a slightly chance. I have a feeling that we are going to probably see same Tems this game, like in game 1.
Well, one thing is for sure, both of them have played 2 matches. They have, like, they know a lot about each other now and their team, so they kind of now, you know, have adapted to the situation, and let's see how do they react and play this round up.
And there's this Mashuk is the only different actually from game 1 to game 3. We are right now diving into the third and the final decider round match between Qlaziks and Alola here. First semifinal match. Okay, so we all know Madrid's solid steam here will be enough to taking care of Mix without
any
questions.
Yeah.
But Mix probably can stay in due to Sense Crunches here. An uppercut might most likely will happen on that slot. But we still have Loatel that can do Fairy Cage, and we don't really know so far how much damage that this Loatel can do towards this Sense Crunch. Now, if this Sense Crunch is definitely super frail, then it will kill it easily. But we do see Alola switching out the Munch here, letting the Valorant actually come in here to the board. We see the C-Strike landing on the Loatel, and it's not enough to taking out the Loatel. The Fairy Cage landing on the Valorant. Valorant surviving fairly good, but the Mix, we all know, died because of that Madrid.
I mean, what does Alola bring in now again is the question. Like, that Mix is always an insta-dead kind of situation for the Mix. But I think if that Loatel dies, then the situation can come in control for Alola, right?
Yes. Hyperkinetic Saga is actually ready right now for Valorant, so Qlaziks need to have that in mind. And taking in either Obi-10 or Gazuma on that slot will resist this pretty well. However, this Mashuk could still do some good damage towards Madrid here. So this is going to be a really big question here for Qlaziks, what they wanted to do. And the Crystal Deluge. Action putting it to sleep. The Feather Gathering tried to do some early solid damage here on the Madrid, but the Fairy Cage keep bombarding this Valorant. The Valorant clock is ticking down here.
I really think the Deluge sleep must be like 2 turns would have been fine, but 3 turns feels like too much, to be honest.
It is such a strong move, and also on put on that, you having actually the darkness, which means that you can't synergize with any temps.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it a little bit more and more. I mean, it makes it interesting, but also making it a little bit tougher to making sure that the synergizer want to make it possible. It's a little bit impossible. But how do you? Okay, so Loatel and Madrid is both on very low HP here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Classic is overexerting with Madrid, but I do see potentially that he might sacking Loatel here just to take in something for free.
I don't think he should swap. I mean, yeah, swapping would not be the best idea right now. Just sacrificing might be better. Does Luatel have a 3 priors of some kind?
I haven't played a lot with Alola, so I do not know, to be fair.
But I still think Wolverine will go first with +1 speed, so it's gonna kill that Luatel either way first.
So like right now the question is, how do Alola come back into this match? With knowing that there's so many times on the other side, this can be a more or less of a wall. Gazuma's coming in instead of the Loatel on that slot, and we do see Marcus coming in instead of the sleeping Mushuk, and we see the Valorant falling down due to the synergizing Madrid with the crystal dust here. And this is more or less a free wreck at this point for Selsmunch.
I mean, it looks like a nice free heat up as well, or a wreck as well.
There is options for Alola to deciding what he wanted to do here. Like as I said, heat up is a good option. Trying to do early damage is also a good thing here, but that Cypad is going to have a little bit rough time here, knowing that this Gazuma is staring down. Even though it won't one-shot the Cypad itself don't want to get.
I mean,
Doesn't want to have any damage.
By the time this Mushuk wakes up, the game will be over. Like, imagine going to sleep in between a battle. Once you wake up, everything is done. People are packing up.
Yeah, exactly. We do see Axemadus leaving the building and letting Obitans taking this fast charge from the Kazuma. We do see the wreck actually landing directly on top of this Obi. Kazuma's using the tornado, which just came now with this patch not too long ago, and putting it down to almost 50%. This is so close right now. This poison tick will be enough to taking out Obi-10.
I mean,
and it doesn't. Yeah?
It should, because there is no way that Obi can remove that poison. Bush is not up. It only has Burrow, and Burrow will only apply one status, right? So it will just die from the poison tick this turn.
And also, this Kazuma probably don't want to stay in too long either. We do know that also that Nichosai is ready.
Mm-hmm.
So Nichosai could taking out the Kazuma if it wants to, or just try to make sure that this Obitan can't do anything. And we see the cage coming out from the Kazuma. This could be really interesting to see what's going to be happening. The Denmark landing directly on the Kazuma, putting it down to 20%.
Burrow coming in probably. Burrow will remove the toxic tick and Obi-10 will live this.
No.
No? Oh no, I forgot he did a plasma beam. I was just getting overexcited.
Wow. Getting so excited, like, yeah, this Opershed is going to survive. Oh, wait, it already did the plasma beam.
Yeah,
Rip.
I was really excited when he did that cage. I was like, maybe he can do burrow on top of it to easily survive this.
I mean, that would be the best. That would be been a good opportunity actually for a classic. Because
Yeah, I mean, that would have still been alive, right?
yes,
And
that
Kazuma
would
would
definitely
have
been
still
alive.
because Obiten did go first before Saipan. Well, now the wreck is ready again, and it's gonna hurt.
It's going to hit hard. That Madrid will die for sure, or the Loatel, depending who is going to take it. I just see one like small problem. This Psypad won't survive this Watercut Lily, and it has to use a move that can go before Zarni. If this Psypad actually running with Jinjutsu, which I believe we have seen
Yeah, we did.
in an earlier game, so it should do definitely solid damage towards this Zarni. And I believe also this is a Colossal Zarni as well, so we will see. But this Watercut Lily is faster than the Psypad, and the Psypad's falling down. And we have the Dust Vortex landing on this Sense Munch, but the Sense Munch surviving that. There's no synergy for this one, but it's enough still to take it out to Madrid. But it doesn't matter because Monkey falls down.
It's gonna be Mushuk versus the world, and the burrow is. Oh no, wait, it's Loatel. My bad. It's all about the speed, guys. All about the speed in the current meta. Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. Okay, so I'm thinking Shook can surviving a Fairy Cage. But can it do enough damage to taking out Loatel this particular turn? The answer is no.
The pressure is on, and Qlaziks will be taking this away.